Today we're going to show you how to monetize your PvP and make it as engaging as possible. In part 1, we showed you how to make the map, the starting area, the weapons, and the circuits. You are going to need Rec Room Plus to sell keys, consumables, and currency. But if you don't have Rec Room Plus, you should still stay in this video. And I'm also going to show you how to make custom weapons, custom perks, and special gimmicks that help engagement. And we're also going to talk about how you can get into the room rewards and literally make millions instantly. And it all has to do with this one word, engagement. Now, what is engagement? There are two types of engagement, total engagement and average engagement. Total engagement is how much time people spend in your room in total. So, if 10 people spend 5 minutes in your room, that's 10 times 5, which is 50 minutes of engagement. Average engagement is the average amount of time people spend in your room. So if 10 people spend 5 minutes in your room, the average amount of time would be 5 minutes, as each person spent an average of 5 minutes. Now, if one person spent 1 minute in your room and another person spent 3 minutes, the average time would be 2 minutes. Engagement is the main factor to Rec Room's algorithm, or audience. The more people spend inside your room, the more it would get pushed out to other people. Now, engagement also affects earnings, because basically, the more time people spend in your room means the more time they'll see each key and consumable they can buy. And the more they see it, the more that they'll be enticed to buy it. And engagement doesn't just make your game thrive, it also earns you a ton of tokens through Room Rewards. Room Rewards is a monthly contest where you can submit your own rooms to be judged. And it's all based on engagement. Each month, there's a different type of engagement you need. Like I remember one month, it was mobile engagement. So, if your room is very engaging, and all you need to do is just add a little tag onto your game. That's it. And the qualifications aren't that hard either. All you need to do is put a tag that's related to your game and around 10,000 visits. You will automatically enroll. No extra sign up needed. If you win the gold tier, you'll earn 3.75 million tokens per creator, not split upon the creators. And if you get the silver tier, you will earn 1.25 million. You have to be the top 5th room inside the silver tier or gold tier in order to win. And it's per category too. The 6 categories are art, quest, PvP, roleplay, hangout, and game. Obviously, ours falls into the PvP category. And if you win the gold tier, you can exchange those tokens for $1,500 USD, which is a lot of money. There's also a bonus challenge. This month, September, is the average playtime on mobile devices. And this month's goal is average playtime and the number of revisits in rooms. So, the more people revisit your room, the more you're likely to win. Winning this can almost guarantee you'll never have to pay for anything in Rec Room again. I need to win one of these, bro. Now I'm going to show you how to make custom weapons. So first off, we're going to make a basic model. What the hell? This model doesn't have to be too complicated. Like, I'm just going to make like a simple like gun shape. Like, that's my model. Like, it doesn't have to be too complicated. It just has to be fun to use. Now we're going to find the trigger handle right there. Now you can spawn it, and then, while having it selected so it doesn't fall, freeze it. This is very important. We're going to move this up here. We also need a projectile launcher. So just search Pro, click this, and place it in position. Please, please, please turn on grid so that it's at least centered. You can move right here, see if it's like lined up. We're going to move it a little bit this way. Now we're going to search for the clamp and click this gizmo. Go ahead and place it next to your gun and wire the trigger handle to the base. Oh, well, it's frozen, so unfreeze the trigger handle, wire it to the base, and then refreeze the trigger handle. Wire the projectile launcher to the yellow bit of the gizmo, wire the gun to the gizmo, reposition the gun using the maker pen, and then reposition the projectile launcher. It should look something like this. Go ahead and configure your gun shape and set the physics mode to decoration. So I'm gonna move this panel up here. So now we're gonna wanna configure the projectile launcher. So we can set the type to a cork, a laser, or a paintball. I'm gonna set it to a cork. You can set the count, which is how many projectiles it will launch when you click the trigger once. The speed, which is how fast it moves. The lifetime, which is how long it lasts until it disappears. And the spread, which is the area where the bullet can go to. So for this one, it's a pistol, so I'm gonna keep the count to 1, set the speed a little higher, set the lifetime a little less, and the spread, keep it at 0. I'm also gonna enable gravity. Now this is the damage. This is how much damage you want it to do. I'm going to keep it like this, except for the head, which I'm going to increase to 15, and the hand, which I'm going to decrease to 10 or 5. I honestly don't know what force does. I think it's how much it pushes you back, but I'm not sure. And that's it for the projectile launcher. Now for the wiring. So what you normally would do is you're just gonna wire this to the fire forward. But as you can see, it's spammable. So what we're gonna do is use these chips. All of these you can find in the palette. This is an if chip, this is a delay chip, and this is a Boolean variable or bool variable that I renamed to reload using the changed name. You just change the name here and then submit it. I also duplicated it and set one of these to false and one of these to true. Now we're just gonna wire everything up. So go ahead and dewire this and move this over to the if. And then move the else over to the fire forward. Move one of these pink variables to the condition. You don't have to move both since they both output the same, because they're both named the same. As you can see, it says false, it says false. The way you set one of these to true is you just click using the wire tool. Now, use the fire forward output, as you can see, and set it to the run. And set it to the run on the delay. And then you're gonna use the output of the run and set it to the reload true. After delay, you want to set it to false. And that's it. Go ahead, pick up your gun and try to spam. And obviously it doesn't work. It's still a pretty fast gun, but now it's not spammable. And if you want to make it faster or slower, all you need to do is just configure this delay. I set it to 0.4, but you can set it to however long you want. And now you have a very simple custom gun. Let's talk about ways you can implement these custom guns into your own PvP. The first way is just lie them around freely. Making them free makes people want to just go around and find them, which can boost engagement. Or you can make it paid using keys or currency, and this clearly makes people want to buy it because it's a pretty good gun. And if you don't know how to make it paid by keys or currency, I'm going to show you later in the video. So you have a gun, cool, but it's not that unique. So let's make it unique. Go ahead and configure the projectile launcher using the configure tool. Let's change the type to a laser. Change the count to however many you want. I'm going to set 16. The speed, really fast. Lifetime, slow down here. Let's add like that much lifetime. And the spread, 17. And no gravity. And now, oh my goodness, this is just a massacre machine. And now it's a super unique gun you can use. I'm just gonna slow down the speed and slow down the spread. And now it's like a shotgun. And again, you can just leave this laying around. I think I'm gonna leave the gun like over here on top of the pyramid, like that. Oh, and one last thing, go ahead and grab it. To make it easier, you can move the thing. Configure the trigger handle. Go ahead and set the respawn, because this is really important. Set the respawn, please. Please set the respawn. And then, another cool thing, you can just undo the move. And now, when you throw it, it should respawn. Bop, bop, and bop. Now that we've created a weapon, let's create custom perks people can use. Perks help spice up the gameplay. You can make yourself run faster, or you can make yourself jump higher. There's tons of customizable options. Let's show you how to set it up. So first, we're gonna get a player remove roll. You're kidding me. Oh my god. I'm really sorry for doing that, but so as you saw, I made all of this in the third person perspective. I'm gonna make another one in the first person to show you guys how to do it. Search roles, get the role chip, gonna place that there. Configure it, set the name to whatever you want to call the perk. I'm gonna call it good because it's gonna be just good. It's gonna be good all around. And then click edit role. I'm gonna change the local motion to a higher jump height. Always sprinting, and the walk speed around sprint multiplier will be set to like 2, since this is just going to be an all-around good perk. Now get a text, place down the text, upscale the text, configure the text to whatever your role is, change the material to whatever you want, go and exit out, and now we're going to get an interaction volume. We're going to move it around the entire text so that we can see this little like glowy box around it. We're going to get an add role and a remove role. So go and type role, and they both should be right here. Player add role right here. And then player remove role should be down here. Since we have 3 roles now, I'm going to add another player remove role by just cloning it. And then for this one, we're going to set it to one of our roles, which is going to be runner. And then the second one that I have is jumper. And by the way, you have to set it to the exact names you have, because if you don't, it won't know which role you're talking about. So make sure this is matching up with this is matching up with this. Now lastly, for the add role, we're going to set it to good. So on use, we're going to remove this role, set this to the other remove role, and then set this to the add roll. Now, since it's the local player, it's going to be whoever pressed it. And now I'm faster, and I jump higher. And lastly, I forgot to mention, you're going to want to show notification chip. Connect this add roll out, and connect the output of the add roll to the show notification. And the notification should tell the player that what their perk is. So the perk should be good. Now when you click it, perk is good. You can't see it because of the camera, but I'm now speedy and jumpy. I'm actually going to make this one less overpowered. What? Oh, I know why. It's because we haven't removed the roll yet. So since I have 3 rolls now, I'm going to have to add another remove roll. And I'm going to remove the roll good. I'm going to do it for the other one as well. Alright. Now, jumper. Jumps high, but slow walk. Runner. Jumps okay, but fast. And good. Faster than the runner. And a good jump. And now you have a perk. But now let's move on to another thing, which is AI. So another feature I don't see a lot of PvP maps use is AI enemies. Like those little goblins in Golden Trophy, or those bots in Jumbotron. And it's really simple to add. AI can keep people fighting even if there's no players inside the lobby. So it always keeps them occupied. It never makes them bored, which is the one thing you do not want them to be. Bored. So let's show you how to make AI. So first, you're gonna wanna make a nav mesh. To go to this room, settings, scroll down in the main settings until you see nav mesh. Go ahead and make nav mesh. And now this big white border you will see. Since this is the biggest it can be, I guess we're gonna just have to use this. So now just bake nav mesh and click shown room. So all of this purple is where monsters and enemies can go. All of this is their like areas where they can roam freely, if that makes sense. Our map is a bit too big, so it's missing out parts right here. So for convenience sake, I'm gonna click show in room to off, and I'm also gonna delete the white nav mesh baking site so that it's visually pleasing for you. You're welcome. Now we want a spawner gadget, so just type spawner and find this, the spawner component. Go ahead and spawn it down. This is spawner component V2, which is a beta item. If you want to enable beta items, go into the main settings of your room, and right here, allow creative beta tools. And you should gain access to this. Go ahead and configure the purple part, and now just click this small area, and you can set it to whatever AI you want. So let's say for this area, we're gonna want some elite melee goblins. Now we have it set. Now that we have it set, we're gonna see how many we want to spawn. For me, I want it to spawn like 10. And how many seconds we want it between spawns, I'm gonna set it to 5. So every 5 seconds it should spawn 1 until it has spawned 10. 10's a bit too much, so I'm just gonna like spawn 3. There is a limit to 20 per AI, so you can only have 20 goblins of this kind. Until you kill another one, then it spawns it. So now we're gonna search for the delay. And right here, we're gonna spawn 1, 2. Now after delay, run. After delay, run. This is gonna create an infinite loop. Let's set it to 60 for like every minute. And lastly, we're just gonna want to type event, spawn it in, and configure it. Click this white box under event, and then on game start. Finally, just want to connect it here. Now, when the game starts, this will start spawning these AIs. If you want to make it more random, I forgot to mention for the after delay, you're going to want to set it to the spawn. And then once you spawn it, you're going to want to rerun the delay. That will create a loop. And now once you start the game, these guys will start spawning. If you want more, you literally can just clone everything by selecting it and then cloning it. And you can move it like over here. You can move it over here. Say one more right here. And now there's AI everywhere. And now AI can spawn here, over there, or over there. Now, let's talk about how to make keys. Keys are basically paywalls that basically allow you to buy things. And it's super simple, but just so you know, you do need Rec Room Plus. Otherwise, you do not have access to this. So we have right here our custom gun that we made. So while holding it, take out the maker pen and move the skin out the way. Use the configure tool to configure the trigger handle. You have to drop it in order to configure it. Let's actually go to POV. Okay, so now you can configure the trigger handle, and you can scroll down until you see room key options. Click create key and name the key. I'm gonna name it laser pistol. Add a description, it must be at least 10 characters. And now you can add the cost. I'm going to set it to 50 tokens. This, if you have an extra room currency, which we'll show you after keys, you can add it to that room currency instead. And now it's locked to that key. All you need to do is just undo the move, and the last thing you're going to need to do is lock the pickup with the key. So as you can see, it says none, but now set it to laser pistol. Now you can undo the move of the skin, and now it appears. I'm the owner, so just click buy. As an owner, you will not be charged. Since I already technically own the key, I clearly have the key. If you want to add another key, all you need to do is just go to this room, click settings, click keys, and then click add another key. And now you can add another key. If you do not want people to pay for your keys, if you do not want people to pay just tokens for your keys, there's an easy way to fix that. Currency is an in-game thing, meaning it won't affect the player outside of the game. And you can basically hand it out for free, or you can make people pay for it. So go to this room, then go to settings, and go to currencies, add a currency. Just recently, they allowed us to change the icon. So we're gonna make it the coin icon, and the color will be yellow. And the name will be coins. Description, rooms coins can be earned. Now the daily limit will be infinite. So the biggest it can be. And then we can add packages. So add a package. We're gonna set it to 500 coins for 100 tokens. We're gonna add another package and we're gonna set it to 1,000 coins for 150 tokens. And now save. And now you have your currency. There are a few more things we can add, like a currency button right here, currency store button, and then we also have an award currency. And we're gonna find a delay chip. We're gonna get 2 of these. Now get an event receiver and configure the event to player joined. Connect this player option to the local player right here and connect to this accept the delay. Now after the delay, set it to run and then set the output of the run to the run in the award currency. Now take this and send it back up to the run, and now you've created a loop. Now, however long you want people to spend in your room to get currency, I recommend 5 minutes, which is 300 seconds. Now what this says is every 300 seconds, it will award currency. Now we just gotta change the amount of the currency to 5. And one last thing, we gotta know which currency we're awarding. So go back and get currency constant. Right here it says room currency constant. Place that right here. We're gonna configure it to say coins, and then we're gonna wire this yellow to the yellow currency. Now when a player joins, every 300 seconds they'll be awarded 5 coins. That's a small amount. Let's do 50. Now we're gonna make the laser pistol bot with coins. So just go ahead and configure it and change it to coins on the key cost 100. Click save, and now it costs coins. Perfect. Let's set up this button real quick by just clicking it, scrolling up, and adding the coins currency. Now when you click it, it'll bring you to the packages. Lastly, let's set up the storefront. So go ahead and search storefront, place it wherever you want, click the let's get started, and edit the storefront in your maker pen. As you can see, it says it's an empty shelf. Add a carousel to start customizing your store. So let's add a carousel. So a carousel is basically like a little section. For the first carousel, I'm just gonna add every package. And as you can see, they're all sectioned. If we add another carousel, we can add our laser pistol. It seems like our storefront only fits one carousel. If you want to edit the name, just click rename and add a name. And now when people want to buy stuff, they can just buy it right from your store. And now, you know everything you need to create a great PvP. Just remember a few things. I wouldn't consider this room high quality, as I've only spent around 2 hours in it. But if you spend a lot more, focusing on every little detail, I'm sure your PvP will thrive. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it or found it useful, consider subscribing and leaving a comment down below. And check out this part, where I showed you how to create the map and the gameplay. And lastly, have a wonderful day.